Who Would Win in a Week, presented by 13 Monkeys All-American Whiskey. We've got in one corner Genghis Khan, famed murderer and rapist.
Pillager. Yeah,
Pillager. Sure.
Now we can't pick him.
The way you just set that up.
See,
I know. Yeah.
This whole
I
thing
wanted to ruin it.
Yeah.
And in the other corner, Bane.
All right.
Murder and rapist Bane.
Yeah. Unconfirmed.
Oh man.
I haven't done it in a long time.
All right,
but I'm
let's
ready.
hear
Do you have any of those quotes?
Yeah.
Okay,
I can give you a few.
Pull one up. There's one that he says right at the beginning that is like really.
Oh.
See,
I followed you, you didn't follow me back.
Yeah, see, that's a good Bane. My
That's
Bane's
bullshit.
not that good. Which one do you want? You want to see the list?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to
out.
scroll through. I think that's the top 12 Bane quotes. They're all pretty short
Oh
ones.
wow.
You gotta do the
yeah,
That's how you set it up. That's how you set it up.
That's how you get your voice in there.
Oh.
Oh, here's Batman. Can you hear me in the Batman? I have to put my
Yeah,
hands
no,
like
dude,
the
you
man.
go
sound
hand
good.
over.
You sound
Go
good
hand
right
over.
Batman. No one cared who I was until I put on the mask.
That's not bad. I mean, it wasn't great.
That's
You need
pretty
a
damn
little-
good.
If you
That's
could
pretty damn
find
good.
a little bit more of the Britishness that he has, you would nail it.
See, he doesn't, but he doesn't sound British to me.
No, but he has a little bit of
Well, Tom
twang.
Hardy's British. I get that, but I don't like when I watch that movie. I don't hear.
He's
the
just British
Britishness.
and smokes like 3 packs a day. That's how you get your voice like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, see, some of these are quotes. Some of these are quotes I think from the comic books too, because I'm looking at them and I'm like, I don't remember that.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, I'll give it a try, but I'm gonna embarrass myself. I need the right one. I'm so bad at this. Can you do the? Well, how do? Oh, how is that bad? Oh,
That was bad. That
Really?
was terrible.
oh, oh,
Oh.
You gotta stop.
man.
oh, oh. Am I getting closer? We will destroy Gotham.
I think that was closer than what you did before.
All right, well, that's my Bane quote. So let's get into it. Both very destructive people, probably not top tier citizens, and both physically inclined.
Yeah, not dissimilar in their in kind of their backstories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Bane, Born in the Darkness, both had pretty tough lives.
Yeah.
I
would
that
say
made
that-
them who they are.
Although it might not be historically documented that Genghis Khan was born in the darkness, he was probably born in the darkness. I feel like everybody at that time was, kind of born into the darkness.
Genghis Khan became Genghis Khan. He had to he killed his best friend.
Yeah, he killed a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know
then
the
it was
history of Genghis Khan. So this is very interesting.
I'm trying to remember all of it. He's got. That's not his real name. He's got
and
some
you
other
can never
name.
believe what the history books say, So
But
for all we know, he was a
he,
great guy.
You just got to get your information from somebody off of YouTube.
Yeah.
Some dude with dreads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Twitter's a great place to
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, is there a more ruthless guy in history? I'm talking about literally in the mix, getting his hands dirty, because he personally killed a ton of people. His his legions
Yeah.
killed 36% of the population or something at the time.
He
It was 40 people, but still.
Yeah. And that was at a time too, where leaders would go in first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he would lead the charge.
Especially him, yeah.
Yeah, and then he would be the one that was, mucking it up early, and everybody else would be like, "Oh, he's doing it. We should go do it too."
I like that though.
Yeah.
I like that
It
hunger, that mentality. Not that he killed people
Yeah.
and shit like that, but
No,
I'm just
but
saying
yeah.
the
And
mentality to take over.
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
because whether he did good things or bad things, he was a leader to the people that followed him, right?
Mhm.
And there's something to be said about a leader who's willing to go into battle
To
first,
lead
right?
by example.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's probably why he was able to captivate so many people, I would have to assume, is because he would go out there and he would walk the walk.
Bane kind of does the same thing, though, right?
Yes,
Like,
but
he's
that's what I'm
taking
getting
on
to.
Batman.
Like
Right.
Bane is very cutthroat. Like Bane kills his own people and stuff because that's what needs to be done, and maybe not needs to, but like that's the quickest solution sometimes. And rather than, try to save somebody's feelings and come up with a different answer, he's just capping.
I don't know what the weather was in Gotham, but he was wearing that trench coat the whole time. Like, if I seen him in a trench coat in 103 degrees weather and he ain't sweating, I'm scared.
See,
you know what I mean?
That's an interesting point because, it does rain a lot in Gotham, but Genghis Khan also a guy who was always like in a trench coat style, probably like
layers on layers for sure.
It was just some animal fur or whatever that he was chucking over himself.
Some light metal work.
Yeah, but they're very similar, and I don't know, Genghis Khan's actual size. He was probably a big dude, but
I bet you he was hefty,
big.
But I can't imagine he was that tall.
People weren't very tall. Yeah, that was. Yeah. But he was probably like 6 foot, and that's probably why people were like, "Oh my God, this dude's a giant," because everybody was like 5'3" back then. I don't even know when back then was.
Can you look up how tall he was? Because I'm curious now. I feel like he might have been a kind of a pipsqueak.
Napoleon style?
Napoleon style, but
if you got a sword, I mean, size don't matter in this case.
Yeah,
in this case, not all cases.
That makes people a little taller if you give them a sword for sure. Yeah. But both of these guys, they'll definitely do whatever. Well, what I should say is like they are both fully assured that what they're doing is the right thing, right? Like they have no qualms about all the murder and stuff because in their minds they are completely 100% convinced that it's all justified for the greater good or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Like ideologically, both of them are completely committed to their movements.
So they would be best friends if they were alive at the same time.
Well, I think they would be but if two guys like that meet, they're definitely competing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can't both be alphas. You can't both be at the top.
Alpha 1 and Alpha 2, they got to fight to the death.
They got to fight to the death, which is exactly what is going on.
So he was probably not that tall.
Yeah.
There's no recorded height of Genghis Khan, so
why didn't they just go to his grandma's house and check the door frame?
There's a lot of this is like internet like chats. You know what I mean?
What? There's like a Reddit thread about Genghis Khan's height?
Like historians kind of debating his height.
What? Dude, they got like the fucking shoe print
Bigfoot.
But
the only thing that is confirmed is the Chinese records merely describe him as tall.
So let's say like 6 foot.
Well, yeah, but so then this one goes a little bit into like the math of average height of people, in different time frames and in different regions. Mm-hmm. So they're estimating him to be about 180 centimeters, which is like 5'10".
Okay.
Which is
that's like height. Average height now,
I guess
right?
It's not small.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's 5'8".
Tom Hardy's 5'8". So
he could probably dunk a basketball, maybe.
Genghis Khan?
Yeah.
I bet you he could,
5'10"?
He has some strong calves, probably.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
He was thick. Like, you got to be strong to get up if you're going to probably weigh as much as he weighed and dunk at 5'10".
He did eat a lot.
Yeah.
But I still think he could do it because I think that I wonder. This might sway me towards Genghis Khan. Is this right here? Genghis Khan, I think, is maybe he's just so. I think that he's just so confident in his physical ability, and Bane, because of like he's got the mask. No matter how much of a leader he is, no matter how sure of what he's doing he is, he can't help but be aware of his own physical limitations. And Genghis Khan, in his own mind, untouchable.
See,
I like that.
And when you have two guys that are so similar in this way going up against each other, that might make the difference.
See, something
like that point.
I think that, most people in modern times versus Genghis Khan, I would probably take Khan because it was just such a different lifestyle. Like, you talk about grit. You had to have some grit just to stay alive. People were dying from the sniffles when he was living. You know what I mean?
Right.
So most people, I think, don't have that. I think that Bane probably does have that aspect of life because of the way that he was raised. And the reason that I'm probably going to side with Bane is because I know I just said, like, Bane's, quick to pull the trigger and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he is smart. you can't do what he did without some level of intelligence and stuff like that. And no disrespect to people that were alive when Genghis Khan was alive, I just have a feeling that he wasn't necessarily the brightest person of all time. Yes, he was a physical specimen, but does that mean he was intelligent? I would have to side more towards no. Because I think that if he was very, very smart, he would have done even more damage than he did for a longer period of time. Like
That's
he would have been able
fucked
to. He would have been able to
Call him
sustain
stupid.
it more. Yeah, I'm
about to call Genghis right now.
Genghis. Yeah, I'm calling Genghis Khan stupid.
But think about this. He was at the top of his vast empire, his vast legions, and everybody, like you said, especially if they grew up under the Genghis Khan rule, ruthless.
Yeah.
Ruthless was the name of the game. And he had to be, without a doubt, he had to have some level of political savvy.
Nah,
and I think it's
I don't
recorded
think
somewhere
so.
that he did. Absolutely. To
To
keep
organize
his place.
that many people, that's the
I
thing
know,
about
but-
Genghis
Everything.
Khan.
And to hold that power.
Yeah.
Because I
Okay.
bet you
Let's look at.
But hold
let's-
on. I just want to say, I bet you that every single person in that army, whatever, was just waiting for their chance to move up a rung. Even the people closest to him.
Yeah.
He killed
rebuttal.
his best friend.
Rebuttal. You're talking about some of the most powerful leaders of history weren't necessarily very good politicians, but it's fear.
They
Like
could
he was
galvanize
so
people.
ruthless, he was able to strike. All he had to do was stay ruthless, and people were going to follow him. He never had to make smart decisions once he had a large enough following, because he had, people that had his ruthlessness instilled in them, following him because he was so ruthless. He didn't have to go out there and make intelligent political decisions. People were afraid of him.
Think about how easily it would have been to assassinate this man.
Oh my God, it would have been a
There's no investigations. There's
Yeah.
no there's footprints.
Yeah,
there's-
somebody killed-
There's fingerprints. Like they would just
Yeah.
sneak into his little tent or whatever,
Yeah.
slice him up, and it's
Yeah.
over. You know what I mean?
They would have
There's no FBI.
seen
you
if
know?
yeah, they would have been like, oh, does this person weigh the same amount as this like bundle of wood, like
Yeah.
witch style? You know what I mean?
There's
Be
no
like,
shell
it was
casings
him.
in the
Exactly.
street. You know.
So, I think that I don't see how he could be even remotely as smart as Bane. And I'm not saying Bane's a super smart guy, but he has a level of intelligence and an ability to plan, and you see that happen. And yeah, he has a support staff too, but so did Genghis Khan. I'm not saying he listened to him, but again, I think that Genghis Khan did what he did because of fear, not because he had some uncanny ability to public speak. I would almost go as far to say
I don't know.
That's not what I'm talking about.
No, I know, but
I'm talking about the understanding, though, and you're in a way making this point. The understanding, he's obviously aware that, like I said, everyone's trying. There's a what's that term? There's a target on his back, I guess I'll say.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
and I think he probably was aware of that, and that's why he had to continue to be ruthless and show people you don't want to,
But I think that's
be
a
the
means,
one to fuck with me.
That's a means of political savvy, though, especially at that time. That's probably
Okay,
the
but if-
majority of how politics was done.
Exactly, but but that again proves my point. If that's the level of
proving each other's
intelligence
points right now.
if that's the level of intelligence
forget who
that's
I'm voting for.
required
Yeah.
to have people follow you, then yeah, that's fine. But that's why I know for a fact that Bane is a smarter person than Genghis Khan
However,
was.
I'm just recalling this part of, because we're talking about Tom Hardy's Bane,
yes.
as we've kind of established, but just to say it out loud, he was in cahoots with that woman, Talia al Ghul. And it seemed like she maybe was pulling the strings a little bit, huh? Because at the end, when
Genghis Khan would never.
Genghis Khan, no way.
Yeah.
One night and he's gone. One night and he's gone.
But this is but this is what I'm saying.
Ain't no first
know,
lady.
But
Multiple first ladies. First women.
yeah.
Second woman. Third woman.
Maybe if Genghis Khan would have taken a breath and a step back from trying to need to feel so ruthless so that people feared him, and took into account what other people might think would suit the Genghis Khan universe better, right? if somebody came up to Genghis Khan and had an idea that contradicted whatever his mumble was that day to get his troops riled up, he'd probably kill that person on
Like, yo, let me
sight.
come talk to you for real
Yeah,
quick.
dead.
Just step outside with me.
Yeah,
real quick.
neck snapped. Like Bane, at least understands that other people can provide things because not everything is always so one-sided, right? There's other views on things that might actually benefit Bane's plan better.
Okay. My choice, my pick, I gotta go with Genghis Khan, man. I gotta go with Genghis Khan. I'm always amazed by people who do things like back before technology.
Yeah. And,
Right?
Yeah, and Bane has a lot of technology.
Because, even though it might be fear, right? People might be following him because of fear. To still be able to organize that many people to do what you wanted to do without phones, without you writing a letter, you don't even know if that shit got to them.
Yeah.
People be like, oh, I missed you. Like, you don't miss me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have access to me the whole time. Like, imagine sending a letter and you don't even know if that shit got to me till a couple months later and you get a letter back. You know what I mean? So
yeah. World is a crazy place.
yeah, just to be able to do that shit, be able to stay alive. You know what I mean? Yeah. You gotta like kill your food.
And
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I get that. The part of being able to organize people, it makes sense, but I still think a big part of that is because he was giving people the opportunity to be fed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He was the reason that people were staying alive, was because he was ruthless. So they'd follow him into battle and they'd go plunder and murder and do whatever they had to do. And then they'd have all these things that they could just take from people because nobody could stand up to him.
So he was a provider.
He was a provider.
He was a provider for the people.
But I think ultimately that's kind of Bane's goal too, I guess, is he kind of wants to do the same thing in a modernized way. Like burn the world down in order to recreate, I guess you could call it, because that's his whole thing, right? It is politically based, no?
Right. But if it come down to them just fighting,
yeah,
Genghis Khan whooping his ass. I'm sorry, yo.
I think so.
Genghis Khan, I feel like he got the hands, and he could probably take a punch. Like Bane can't take a punch.
Bane can take a punch.
If he
I don't know.
But again, that mask is such a liability because it's got those little capsules in it, right? One of those comes undone. We saw it in
Genghis
the movie.
Khan
it takes him out.
Probably doesn't even know what that mask is. He'd probably
doesn't
think
matter, but he knows that
God.
No, even though you called Genghis Khan stupid, you have to understand.
I didn't call him stupid. I said he's not as smart as the average
You
person
said Genghis
today.
Khan was probably the dumbest person ever in existence. But
I never said that.
To quote you. But
see, that's not true.
But he definitely knows hit head, go hurdy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He definitely knows how to kill somebody.
Damn, this water's full as fuck.
Like Genghis Khan, yes, definitely through trial and error has figured out the most effective way to kill somebody. But
League of Shadows.
Bane.
Right.
Whatever.
I'm not saying. Listen,
we're not attacking you.
See, this is one of those picks that it's definitely could go either way, but I think that what we are forgetting about is this thing that you guys think I'm so crazy for talking about, and it is Bane's level of intelligence compared to Genghis Khan's. Bane is a pretty smart guy, and he's good with words. Genghis Khan won't understand them, but they exist.
He'll just be like, that sounds like a threat. That's
No,
all he needs to know.
recognize
Genghis
tone.
Khan would.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a lot of grunting for sure. He was a big grunter.
All right,
Genghis Khan.
I'm locking mine in at Genghis
I
Khan
knew
as
that
well.
was coming.
100%.
Yeah.
He takes it.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's a good fight.
Yep.
It could go either way.
Hopefully
Genghis
a game
Khan-
comes out or something on Xbox
I
or
know.
PlayStation, or you could just fight. You could have all these.
That'd be
We
different
awesome.
talk
people.
about it all the time. Like, how could we ever
Simulate
all of this
actually.
stuff?
All right.
But
And I
then
don't
what
think
would
it's
be
ever
the point of
pot-
talking about him, though? Because we just look, let's watch a fucking
Yeah.
thing.
If there was a video
This
game
is the fun part.
with all the dictators and everything
Yeah.
from the past, who would you use to fight first game?
Genghis Khan,
Genghis Khan.
100%, without a doubt. Genghis Khan is the Andre the Giant of dictators.
Okay.
I would probably. I'd have to think about that one. I'd have to pull out my list of my favorite dictators.
Sure.
Mhm.
And
Well,
that's
just,
in your
just famous
wallet.
famous leaders
Yeah.
in general.
Is this a one-on-one though?
One-on-one. It's kind of
Okay.
like
Mortal Kombat.
yeah, exactly.
That's tough. I really don't know. I'm feeling a rush of patriotism going on, but I'm like, I do think that Genghis Khan would beat the wheels off of George Washington.
Yo, George Washington has no hands. Yo.
Yeah,
George
nah.
Washington get his ass beat. If George Washington was alive right now, and I saw him at 7-Eleven or some shit.
You throw?
Yeah, yo. Like if he was taking too long, like if he was buying lottery tickets or some shit. I'd be like,
yeah.
yo, man, hurry up.
And he's like, that's the worst. When they're sitting there and they're looking at it, they're like, let me get 3 number 5s.
Yeah. Or if they got
and like,
no,
those are the wrong ones. Those are the wrong ones. And it's like, motherfucker, just take them.
Yeah. Or if he walked in the store before me and like didn't hold the door for me, I'd be like,
Which he wouldn't. We know that.
George Washington was a gentleman
I don't think so.
and a scholar.
He had wood teeth.
See, George Washington though, smart.
No.
I don't
Dude,
know.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
listen to
don't
me.
know.
Listen to me. Look at like Alexander Hamilton, right? Everybody loves him because they're like, oh my gosh, look, he's got a fucking
Cool signature.
like all these doctorates and stuff. You're thinking of John Hancock. He's got like all these doctorates and stuff. It took like 6 months to go to medical school, dude. They're like, hey, what's this? A hand? You're a doctor.
No,
like, that's all it
because
took.
I don't necessarily agree with that because
It's
I
true,
think
though.
No, because I think like getting doctorates then were more like philosophy based than like
You're wrong.
And it was
medicine
based on money. Like there was no poor people becoming doctors.
yeah,
You know,
that's
like you
true.
had to have
I
money.
kind of
to
still
get
like
shit.
that though.
Yeah.
It just like they get more on you because it takes
Definitely.
longer.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of the presidents could fight. You know what I mean? Like
Fucking what's his name? Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah,
dude,
Teddy
for
Roosevelt.
sure.
Chuck
okay,
Paz.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
I feel like Honest Abe. You know, he got the reach, right?
Well, yeah,
he's
he's
6'2",
big.
you know,
there's a few.
he got a mean jab,
Well, there's
probably.
Andrew Jackson could definitely throw hands.
In his day,
Yeah.
and I think Lyndon B. Johnson as well.
whoever that is.
I think
LBJ.
Taft probably had a mean right hand. You know, probably
Taft,
probably
yeah.
couldn't
If
move
he was
around
trying
that
to
much,
grab a
but if he
slice
caught
of
you with that
za.
right hand,
Yeah, if you got
Yeah. if you fell underneath him, you were in trouble.
yeah,
for
if you
certain.
got in the tub with him,
if
he
he
could
got you
take you down
against the ropes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just got to work the body then. Yeah, tough to miss. I mean, if you're trying to win by decision, you know. I don't know who I'd pick. I would have to sleep on that. Unless I could pick what's that guy's name? Jason Bourne, but he's not real. I'd pick.
And
Jason
he's also
Bourne,
not
though.
a
My
world
dad loves
leader.
Jason Bourne.
Yeah, but he kind of is.
No,
Yeah.
he's not.
Jason Bourne from 24, right?
Nah, that's
That's Jack
Bauer.
Oh, Jack Bauer.
Jack Bauer. Is
Okay.
he count as a world leader? I would pick Jack Bauer too.
What's Jason Bourne from? What movie?
The Bourne Identity. Matt Damon is Jason Bourne.
Oh, okay,
in
okay.
those movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Jack
that.
Bauer.
Holy shit! It's
My
Jason
dad likes
Bourne,
movies
isn't
like
it?
that. You know, like
Yeah.
24. We used to always watch 24. We had the DVDs and
Yeah.
shit back in the day.
My
24
parents
is a-
love 24.
24 is a sneaky good show.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I never really watched it.
When I got older, I like watched it a little bit. I'm like, oh, this shit kind of fire.
It's a little bit like goofy to watch because the whole thing is based on a card game.
Oh yeah, that's the theory.
The theory, if you got to watch an episode, watch the pilot, and you're like, yeah, this is a card game.
Okay.
Yeah, you ever heard of the card game Euchre?
I've heard of it. I never played it.
Yeah, so it's a card game, and you play with 24 cards, and the highest card is the Jack Bauer.
Okay.
Like that's the number one card in the game. And the show is called 24, and the main character's
Yeah.
name is Jack Bauer. So
Nothing like a little 24 conspiracy
Yep.
going on.
classic, yeah.
Starting a whole new
Yeah,
podcast.
now on our
all about
NCIS
it.
segment of the
I
show.
don't even know how we got to that shit, yo.
Neither do
Goddamn.
But vote on that Who Would Win of the Week on our Instagram. That'll be up on Friday. Check that shit out. Let us know what you think. Probably Bane for the win. I'm what are we on? Episode 80.
This is 84, I think.
Episode 84. I'm 84-0 so far. On Who
See,
Would Win
that's
of the
how I know
Weeks.
you don't actually look at these polls.